In 2025, a group of researchers released a report called AI 2027. It wasn't a hype thread. It wasn't sci-fi. It was a timeline. A step-by-step prediction of how artificial intelligence could evolve from today's chatbots into superintelligence in just a few years. When it first appeared online, it went viral. Partly because the predictions were bold, but mostly because the timeline felt uncomfortably realistic. And now something strange is happening. Some of the early predictions from the report are already happening. So today we're going to map three things. 1. What the report predicted. 2. What has actually happened so far. 3. What the timeline says comes next. Because if the report is even partially correct, the most chaotic part of the AI revolution hasn't happened yet. Phase 1, 2024 to 2025, AI becomes infrastructure. The report begins with a simple prediction. AI doesn't suddenly become super intelligent. Instead, it becomes economically unavoidable. Companies adopt it everywhere. Coding, research, customer support, marketing, data analysis. Not because it's perfect, but because not using it becomes a competitive disadvantage. And that prediction aged extremely well. Developers now routinely work with AI coding assistants. Startups operate with tiny teams, augmented by AI agents. And entire industries are discovering that one skilled person with AI can outperform entire departments from 5 years ago. In other words, AI didn't replace humans. It multiplied the productive ones. Phase 2. The next step in the report is the rise of AI agents. Not chatbots, but systems that can plan tasks, use tools, write code, test it, fix bugs, and keep iterating. When the report was written, this idea was mostly experimental. Now, developers run agents that build full apps from prompts. Companies deploy agents that handle customer operations autonomously. And research labs are building AI that can run entire research workflows. The report describes this moment as the shift from AI that answers questions to AI that does the work. And once that happens, the pace of development starts accelerating. Phase 3, then the report makes a geopolitical prediction. AI progress becomes limited by one thing: compute, which means whoever controls the most powerful chips and data centers controls the future of AI. And suddenly the story isn't just about tech companies anymore. It's about countries. Massive AI data centers begin appearing across the United States. Billions are invested in semiconductor manufacturing. Governments start treating AI infrastructure the same way they treat energy or nuclear technology. Because the strategic value is obvious. Whoever leads in AI might gain advantages in cybersecurity intelligence, economic productivity, scientific discovery, and potentially military power. Phase 4, the US versus China AI race. The report predicts that AI development becomes dominated by two global superpowers, the United States and China. Both countries have everything required for an AI arms race: enormous computing infrastructure, world-class researchers, massive datasets, and governments willing to invest billions. The difference is strategy. The United States pushes AI primarily through private companies and research labs. China integrates AI development much more closely with state planning and national strategy. And once both sides realize how important AI could become, the incentives change. AI progress stops being just about innovation. It becomes about not falling behind. And historically, technological races between superpowers tend to accelerate very quickly. Just ask the space race, or the nuclear race. The report argues AI could become the biggest technological race in human history. Phase 5, the quiet breakthrough. Up until this point, AI mostly helps humans. Then the report predicts something subtle but extremely important. AI begins helping AI research itself. Instead of researchers manually designing new models, AI systems start assisting with architecture discovery, training optimization, debugging experiments, writing research code. At first, this just makes research faster. But speed compounds. Research cycles that used to take months suddenly take days. And eventually, the improvement loop begins feeding itself. AI improving AI, which is where things start to get unpredictable. Phase 6, the superhuman programmer. One milestone in the report is the arrival of a superhuman AI coder, an AI capable of understanding enormous code bases, designing complex systems, and writing software better than top engineers. If that happens, the impact goes far beyond tech, because software runs almost everything: financial systems, energy grids, logistics networks, military infrastructure. Now imagine the majority of that software being built by systems that can work 24/7, iterate thousands of times per day, and constantly improve themselves. Progress would stop being linear. It would become exponential. the acceleration point. The report predicts that by 2027, the pace of AI progress becomes difficult for humans to control, not because anyone intends for that to happen, but because the incentives push everyone forward. Companies keep scaling models, governments keep funding research, and the US-China race keeps accelerating development. No one wants to slow down first, because slowing down might mean losing the lead. And in a technology this powerful, second place might not exist. The AI 2027 report might be wrong. Predictions about the future usually are. But the early part of the timeline already looks eerily familiar. AI agents, massive compute races, government involvement, and a growing US-China technological rivalry. If those early signals continue, then the real story of AI might not unfold over decades. It might unfold over the next few years.